Hey guys, welcome to episode 11 of the Blue Mouse podcast. I'm Emily, the full-time knitwear designer behind the Blue Mouse. You can find me on Instagram as the Blue Mouse with an underscore at the end and the Blue Mouse on Ravelry. Feels like it's been such a short week. I feel like I was just sitting here talking to you guys. Can't believe that was a week ago, but I have some fun things to share with you today and a finished object, which I think quite a few of you will be excited about. So yeah, let's just get into it. So I have a couple acquisitions for you. Let me get them all out of the bag because it is a sweaters quantity. So this company called Spud and Chloe reached out to me through the people at loveknitting.com about, it's been over a month now. It got pretty lost in the mail. I think it was supposed to be here like the second week of October, and I got it a few days ago. So it got lost in the mail. It got sent to somebody else's house in Columbus. It was like just across town, but then took like an extra week to get to me. So it was a little bit confusing, but it's here now. So this is their sweater worsted. It's 55% superwash wool and 45% organic cotton. So it's a worsted weight with 160 yards. And I have a whole sweaters quantity. So just a heck of a lot of it. So it's just this really beautiful, muted chocolate brown. And I'm going to make the little twig sweater, I think that's what it's called, by Melody Hoffman of Bee Mandarins. So yeah, I'm going to get started on that as soon as I can, which is hopefully next week. I think last podcast I said that I was like plowing through all of my work and I was going to be able to cast on new things this week. It didn't happen. I think the day that I filmed that was the last day that I had a lot of time to work last week. The weekend came and it got insane. I was so busy with wedding stuff that I didn't have time to really work. So, I mean, yeah, what are you going to do about it? So, I think this weekend I will be done with all those things I wanted to have done last weekend. So I should be able to cast on my 2 pattern whips and then at least start swatching for this Selfish knit. So it'll be fun. I don't think I've worked with a wool cotton blend. Not that I can remember. So I'm very interested to see how this knits up and how the cotton kind of affects the drape and the way that it knits. I'm guessing it's going to be a little bit more flowy with the cotton, like a little bit heavier and a little bit drapier. But I don't know. I haven't been knitting with cotton lately, so I kind of forget. Alright, and then the only other thing that I have goes with this. So I bought this skein of Malabrigo sock when I was in Chicago in July for the Our Maker Life event. And so we were in Chicago, and this is the perfect Cubs blue. So the Chicago Cubs is a baseball team in Chicago, if you're not familiar with that. And my plan with it was to make a hat for my dad for Christmas. So I bought it in July, and then the plan was always to get another skein of it in white or as close to white as I could get to make the combo perfect for the hat. So I'm going to try and get a hat out of this for him and a pair of socks. I think it can be done. Let's see. I can make a pair of socks with less than 100 grams of yarn, of fingering weight yarn. So I'm guessing that with 2, I should be able to get a hat and a pair of socks. But I mean, worst case scenario is I have to buy another skein. So that's what this is going to become, and I gotta get started on that soon, because Thanksgiving is next week, and then it's going to be Christmas before we know it. So, gotta get started on those Christmas gifts. I don't know how you're doing with that. Let me know in the comments if you're as behind as I am. And we can just comfort each other. It'll be alright. We'll be able to make it. So, let's see. I'm going to start with my whip. because it's currently the only one that I'm really working on. Well, I have one more, but I haven't picked it back up again. So this is the one I'm working on today because I have to film some tutorials. So this is another Glimmer Sock, which is a sock pattern that I have coming out this Saturday, so tomorrow when this pattern comes out. And so this is what I have so far. I already have a finished couple pairs, and I showed one last week, but this is the pair that I'm starting to film the tutorials on. I wanted something that was a solid color because it's easier to display on tutorials. The speckled or variegated yarn gets kind of muddled and confusing for people. So I started that this morning, and I just have probably another 2 inches on the cuff. I want to make it quite a long cuff this time, and then I will film the tutorials for working the heel. And I'll take it to home church tonight to hopefully finish the foot so that I can hopefully get to filming the toe tutorial tomorrow, so that it's all done before the pattern is released on Saturday and I'm not rushing to get that done on Saturday. But this colorway is called, I'm going to have to look that up because I don't remember. So this is called Loma, and it's on her classic sock base, which I believe is a 75-25, but I'll put it in the show notes because I don't know for sure. But that's just what it looks like. It's just the most gorgeous kind of golden color. So yeah, that will be at least one sock finished by next podcast. I'm not in any rush to finish like a second one because I'm really only doing that for the tutorial, and then I can get to the second sock when I have time. But since we're talking about sock knitting, I have this fun little tool that I found a couple months ago that I think is super helpful for knitting socks. So it's called the sock ruler, and I don't know if you've ever seen one of these. It works cuff down or toe up. So what you do is when you turn the heel on a cuff down sock, you slide your sock onto this, and you can measure how long you've knitted. So instead of stretching it out with your hands and then trying to measure, it just is way more convenient, and especially when you're gift knitting. So when you're knitting for yourself, like a pair of socks, you can just try them on as you go, and you kind of know what works for you. But if you're knitting for other people, then this is really helpful because you just go until you're like 2 inches from the total length, which you can look up online. And it's really easy just to keep track of how far away you are from the total. So I wear a US 9.5, but that doesn't mean that my foot is 9.5 inches long. My foot is actually 10 inches long. And you can go online. I think the Yarn Craft Council has a whole list of how long people's feet generally are if they're this size in US shoe sizes. So if you're gift knitting, you can just go on and say, okay, a size 8 is this many inches long, and then you just knit until you're however long your toe's going to be away from that total. And I've kind of marked them here in red Sharpie. So a US 7 is about 9.25 inches long. And a US 8.5 is 9.75 long. So I just kind of keep that there just so that I know if I'm gift knitting, I can just have it right there really easy. So this has saved me a lot of time and just makes it really, really easy. And it's cheap. I think it's like $10. And you can get them pretty much anywhere. I think I got it from Jimmy Bean's Wool the first time, and then I lost that one. And I bought one at my local yarn shop. So you can probably find them at your local yarn shop. But speaking of socks, I have a finished pair, which I think I was still working on last podcast, but these are my Glimmer Socks, which comes out on Saturday. It's a little bit hard to see the texture with the speckled yarn, but you can kind of see that this is ribbed, and then this is just stockinette on the underside of the foot. Just a simple wedge toe. And then this is what the heel looks like. It's a heel flap and gusset. Very, very simple, very easy. That's kind of the point. It's more for like if you're trying to crank out a lot of socks, this is very fast, or if you're trying to learn how to knit socks, this is going to be perfect for you because I'm filming full video tutorials to go with the pattern. So if you've never tried knitting socks, I think now would be a good time. And the sock cowl, which is a knit along, starts on Saturday as well. We already have a thread going in the podcast Ravelry group, so people are already starting to chat and share what their plans are and their yarn. If you're interested, you can go and head over there. It's very, very loose, no big rules or anything. We're just knitting socks until the end of December, as many as you can or want to get done. I plan to get like 6 pairs done, I think. Maybe more, I don't know. We'll see if that happens. But anyway, those are my Glimmer Socks. And then my final FO and thing to share with you is that green sweater that I've been teasing you guys with for the past, I don't know how many weeks. So it's done, completely done. Here it is in all of its glory. So this is the front. It's just a pretty standard V-neck, not super low. But then the back has a low V-neck. So I love that. I really, really like that it's low in the back and still kind of low in the front, but enough that you get plenty of coverage. So yeah. I love the way that this turned out. It's not blocked yet, but I've been busy writing up the pattern so I can get that out to testers and tech editors and things like that. But yeah, this is designed to be a little bit longer. So it's the kind that you would wear with like a pair of boots and leggings. But you can very easily modify it to be a normal sweater length. I would say if you're going to wear it with boots and leggings that you're going to want more ease. So this sweater has 10 inches of positive ease for me because I want to wear it with boots and leggings, so I want it to be a little bit oversized. But if you're going to shorten the length and make it more of a regular size, then I would say about 4 inches of ease is probably good. But again, that's totally your preference, whatever you like. And then the sleeves are just basic long sleeves. You decrease fairly consistently all the way down, and then you decrease pretty rapidly here at the cuff, and then you just do about 3 inches of ribbing and finish off with a nice, I forget what this is called. It's just a, what is that, a tubular bind off? Yeah, but where the end just seems to kind of roll over, so it kind of looks like it never stops. And then the V-neck looks like this. It's got that cool kind of almost eyelet looking center in the middle, and then it's just a 2x2 rib all the way around. So yeah, I will get this blocked and I'm getting photos of it next week, so I'll have more to share with you guys. This probably won't be out for quite a while, probably until after Christmas. I want to make sure that my testers have plenty of time, and I know that Christmas is a really busy knitting time, so I don't want people to be stressed about it. So I'll probably give them about, I don't know, 6 to 8 weeks to knit it up, depending on, it's just very flexible because I don't want people to be worried about it. But that being said, I'm also thinking of doing a worsted weight version that I will start on in the new year. And that'll, go very quickly because I can just base it off of this pattern and change what I need to make it work with worsted weight yarn. But yeah, so I think that'll be out in probably about February. So if you're wanting it to be kind of a quick sweater, you're going to want to wait until the worsted weight version is out because fingering weight sweaters take a really long time. They're worth it because the drape is just incredible. You can't beat the drape of a fingering weight sweater. But you have to put in the time for it, and if you don't want to, then there will be, hopefully, a worsted weight version out. I mean, that's my plan. So, anyway, I think that is everything. I did buy a little bit of Christmas yarn today. So, from the Blackberry Ridge, if you know who she is. I can't wait. I've been kind of drooling over her yarn for a very long time, and I know I said I wasn't going to buy any more yarn until the new year, but this is the only thing. Because, well, the only pattern-related thing. I was already planning on buying that skein for Christmas gifts. But these are the only 2 skeins I'm going to buy for patterns because I really, really want to make Christmas socks. So I'm going to take my leftover yarn from Lane and Lotus, which is this gorgeous green and the perfect Christmas green in my opinion. It's very Grinch Christmas green. And I'm going to pair it with the gold and the red that I bought from her and make Christmas socks. At least 1 pair, maybe 2, and those patterns will be out before Christmas. So yeah, I'm excited about that. Been really feeling the Christmas spirit. I don't know about you guys. I know some people are like death on it until December. I'm not. I'm usually one of those people that starts November 1st. I'm just a little behind this year. But my fiance and I are planning on making like some kind of holiday festive style meal tomorrow, maybe some cookies afterwards, and watching Elf because we're supposed to get some snow tonight. Fingers crossed. Don't know if that will actually happen because Ohio weather just never seems to cooperate. It's raining right now. It's freezing out. I wouldn't be surprised if that didn't turn to snow, but I also wouldn't be surprised because it's Ohio. I swear the weather is just not accurate at all. Whenever I check it, it's completely different than what we get. Anyway, sorry, got into a little bit of chatter, but that's all I have for you today. I'll talk a little bit about my life if you care to stick around. If not, no worries. I'll hopefully see you next week. But for those of you who want to stick around, busy week. Again, I don't know where the time went. I'm really itching to start some new cast-ons, but I have to wait, have to be disciplined and wait. So I have finished my Lane and Lotus sweater. I finished typing it up. I have to just double check everything with fresh eyes this morning and then send that off. And then I have to finish 1 more pattern that's coming out next week. And then after I finish doing the video tutorials for my Glimmer Socks coming out on Saturday, I should be good to cast on. So yeah, I've got definitely two patterns I need to get started on. I'm so behind on Allie's design. I feel so bad, but I love it. I have the yarn out. It's haunting me over here, but I'm trying to be good and finish what I have now because I know I'll just be way too overwhelmed. And yeah, I get married in 3.5 weeks and I haven't really moved anything over there. So my studio is a wreck. It's like someone threw up clothes everywhere. There's clothes everywhere I need to pick up and start purging and cleaning so I can start moving stuff over on top of all the work stuff. I'm very overwhelmed if you can't tell, but it'll be good. I am very, very excited just to be married and be done with the planning. I don't know if people typically enjoy this process. I wouldn't say that I'm like stressed out about the wedding stuff. I was joking with a friend of mine on Instagram the other day saying that I'm more stressed out about Christmas knitting than I am about wedding planning, which is true. I'm not really stressed about wedding planning. I'm just ready for the limbo period to be over so I can just move in and start my life again. I feel like my life has been on hold for weeks. So yeah, and then Christmas. I love Christmas. I cannot wait. Yeah, it's going to be very different. We're going to go get a tree in 2 weeks and set it up in our new house. And it'll be completely different to be waking up on Christmas morning in a new bed in a new place. And it'll be different, but I'm excited for it. I'm very excited for the start of this new chapter of life, I guess. So anyway, I hope that this was enjoyable and very short on knitting, I know, but it'll be like that until probably after Christmas, and then we'll start cranking out work and patterns, and I'll have more to share with you. But I hope you have a great rest of your week. Enjoy the weekend. I hope you get lots of knitting in. Hopefully a little snow if you're in an area where that's possible. If you're not in the southern hemisphere, I guess. But yeah, I hope you get snow. I hope you have a great holiday weekend. I know it's kind of before Thanksgiving, but some people celebrate early. So if you're celebrating early, have fun. And I will see you guys next week.